Alright, now that we're in Stuttgart, we can now head back to probably Zurich, maybe Bern. Electronics or cut flowers? I think electronics. A, it's heavier, B, it's more valuable. 230 kilometers, just enough. And then we need to start, like, working our way around like a wheel.
Keep right.
I think part of the problem maybe with the mini-games of Rebirth as well is because of the way in which that they've been releasing it, the fact that they've... I mean, the original had multiple discs, but at least it was released as one game, whereas with that, they've kind of been releasing things almost disc by disc, but in different games. And they don't want people to be disappointed by there only being X amount of content in that particular game release, so they chuck in a bunch of extra mini-games in order to make you, well, not make you, but allow you to spend a lot more time playing through the game. So you feel like you're getting a little bit more out of it. That's my feeling. I don't know, that's just how it feels like to me anyway, the fact they're doing it kind of the iterative releases, instead of just bang, one big game. It's interesting, it's almost like an art project. Some of the games are really annoying. Yeah, that's the other thing, is if you kind of feel gated based on just doing particularly well at a certain thing. It's always irritating. I didn't really gel much with the combat in the bit that I was playing of FF7 either. I mean, it's almost certainly a skill issue.
Then exit right.
But, oh, let's take a picture of this. I'm guessing that the overbridge is what I'm meant to take a picture of. Photo mode. Always defaults to just staring at the truck. That's very rarely the thing that I'm actually trying to take a picture of. Trade fair parking garage. That's a parking garage? That's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's a fun idea.
Exit right. Turn right.
I went into the employee car park instead of the depot. I forgot that. Yeah. I keep pressing B, thinking that it's parking brake, but in this I have it set to toggle between sequential gearbox and manual.
Turn right.
Playing on the easier mode. I'm also playing on, I think, maybe not the easiest mode, but I think an easy mode. Not like fully casual, I don't think. But I was still finding it just a bit of a struggle. Partly it's just reflexes bad, also just forgetting game elements. I'm also just have a really bad habit of getting too flustered in the moment, and I'll just miss inputs and stuff. Which is my trailer? Oh, this one I can see that I have a mod installed that means that I don't get a big bouncing ring above my trailer. Instead it just puts a little cross underneath each one, and sometimes it's really hard to see. There we go. Got there in the end. Do menu-based gameplay? Combo between real-time and turn-based? Maybe that's what I haven't tried. I know there were a lot of options when I first started playing the game. That was the other thing. It's like, oh, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? It's like, I don't know, just let me play the game.
Keep right. Then turn right.
I mostly just want to play through the story and have some combat elements where I feel that I'm doing something, but at the same time, just let me just blitz through things.
Get ready to turn left.
They really need to have just an automatic mode where it's like, okay, you just want to play the story. I get it. This is a Final Fantasy visual novel. I'm just too spoilt by playing Persona and being able to over-level or cheese things to be able to get overpowered Personas, so that then I can just blitz through most fights until I get to a boss fight, and then I have to try a little bit harder, but you're never really in threat of dying. It'll just take longer. It's basically all it comes down to. So when I get into a game like Rebirth where, oh, I actually have to pay attention to not die, alright, that's the bit I struggle with, and then I spend more time trying to just keep myself alive than actually doing damage. Or vice versa, I'll just try and just burn down the boss and not pay attention to keeping myself alive and then just keep dying. So it's pretty much boom or bust. Back in the day you also had to grind a lot. Yeah, that's true. And it doesn't feel that in the first part of the game, at least, that there's really many opportunities for grinding. I can't remember what chapter I'm up to. But I was in the slums, I think, still. And there was like the junkyard, basically. That seemed to be the only place you could go to grind. But it never really feels like you should be. I don't know, the story pushes you onwards. And, yeah, you then never really... Maybe I just haven't reached that point yet, probably, because I'm still, like, building the party. So I just haven't gone far enough in the game to get to the point that I even could really grind. That was the big difference, too, between Persona 5 Original and Royal. In the original, it felt punishing to grind. You were almost incentivized not to. You had a lot more resource limitations when you were in the dungeons, and the game was basically pushing you to just make multiple visits more of the time. And yeah, it felt really bad to try and grind it, because you would just run out of resources, and it would just be really hard to progress. Until you got to kind of a critical point about just after halfway through the game, I think. Whereas in Royal, it felt that they rebalanced things much better, so that grinding was a little bit more feasible. After the first couple of dungeons, then you could do it a lot more, and just kind of self-sustain yourself a little bit more. I mean, I don't mind a game where you do have to grind, the grind experience can't be too punishing. You have to feel like you're getting more out of it than you're having to put in. When you struggle with one of the Chocobo missions, I can only imagine. Those things are... yeah. Oh, I'm running out of gas. Oops. I should have filled up. That's the downside to playing a game like this on stream, is I really don't pay as much attention as I should. That, and I've just, you know, it's early morning still. It's 10:30, it's not that early, but... still not fully onto it. When am I ever? I don't know. Maybe if I was streaming late at night, then I'd be tired, so, you know. It's a lose-lose. It's interesting as well because, like, they've put a huge amount of effort into Rebirth because Final Fantasy VII was so captivating and so popular. Even as a pretty casual observer back in the day, I was pretty enamored by it. I have Advent Children on Blu-ray. That was really cool. As spiritual sequels go. But also, I kind of preferred Final Fantasy VIII, interestingly. Which is a bit of a hot take, apparently, because there was a bunch of stuff I saw online about how people were basically saying about how 8 was really bad. And I was like, was it? I don't know, I thought it was really cool. I think maybe it was just a really hard act to follow 7, but... maybe 15 years ago and got sucked into that world. That's probably about when I re-found it again. I was meant to get petrol. Once again, I'm really not paying attention. I'm just gonna block some traffic on the motorway real quick. Don't mind me. Someone's gonna rear end me. I should be doing this inside the cab instead, probably. It's fine, it's fine. Don't mind me. I just don't want to run out of gas on the motorway. There's probably a station where I'm going as well, but it's here, I should stop. I think the characters in 7 were more compelling. I'll give it that. I mean, especially when you consider that target market, moody teenagers, and Cloud is totally emo. I think the story in 8 was a lot more batshit as well, to be fair. I think they went a bit more anime. After Robin Hobb shared some of the FMVs on YouTube, oh yeah, with that song. But oh yeah, song by Within Temptation. Yep. Yeah, AMVs were a cool thing back in the day. That's, yeah, when I kind of got reminded about it, certainly. That's where I was captured by Final Fantasy IX, I think. Is that the one with lightning? Because there's a really good AMV of Within Temptation's Faster. And it's, I think, FF9 themed. The stories just lend themselves really well to that sort of thing. And then there was Frozen, not the Disney franchise, Within Temptation Frozen. I think that was based on Vincent Valentine and Crisis Core. That's a really good AMV as well. Lightning's 13. Oh, okay. I'm way out of whack then. I also have that in my games library, and I think, again, it's one that I started to play, got as far as I think the tutorial missions, and no further. Okay, I'm just going to let you cut me off because I can't be bothered fighting it. But that was definitely a merge situation that you should have been giving way to me, Mr. Truck. But whatever. Fascinated by Vincent? Yeah, Valentine's a real compelling character. He was a bit of a favourite back in the day. Speaking of emo teens.
Okay, let's find a new route.
So frustrated by the turtle as you're so close to meeting him. Ah, okay, yep. Yeah, and it's like I was saying before about the combat and stuff is sometimes in games it just feels like, okay, I've tried this time and time and time again. Can there just be a button I can press or something I can do within the game that lets me work around the skill check? Because not everyone is that good at gaming. And you might be otherwise good at gaming but just hit a roadblock and you feel, okay, this is no longer fun. I'm no longer enjoying this to get past this particular blocking point. Can there please be a story-provided mechanism whereby I can engage some other gameplay mechanic, talk to someone, pay someone off, do a side quest for someone that lets me get past this hurdle? Allow me to approach this from a different direction, please. Because, yeah, skill checks are not fun. When you know that there's a good story in there, you know you want to get past this point, but I mean, my reflexes are not what they used to be. I get hand cramps a lot these days. It's one of the reasons why I have just gone back to playing these sorts of games, because then my hands are just kind of neutral on a controller a lot more. Any game that I have to do a lot of fast button inputs, I cannot do, over any length of time, certainly. And that's one of the reasons why I was struggling with the combat in Rebirth, I think, is because you've got to do a lot of fast button mashing sometimes, it feels like, and I just can't sustain that anymore. I'm a bit burnt out. And also have other things at play, so...
Keep right.
Kind of a timing issue and can't get it right. I mean, that's still, yeah, still kind of similar, in the similar vein. I'm going to drive the wrong way along here real quick, because for whatever reason, they've decided to... Even though it didn't look like you were meant to come back this way, I guess you can.
Left, and then turn left.
Like, this bit was grayed out, like I'm meant to discover it. And yeah, this is an intersection. It's just it presented me as a place that I couldn't come back from last time, but I guess that's because there's nowhere to actually do a U-turn. The game's really bad at figuring out that, you know, you could just turn around at an intersection or just dip down a side road or something. But at the very least it should be a case of the game goes, okay, you've tried this timing check 10 times. I'm gonna let you skip it now. Just have some character dialogue of like one of the other party members just ripping into Cloud for not being good at something. So, oh, you really sucked, eh? And it's like, just have it come up every now and then that you took so long to finish the Chocobo check or something. Just throw in a little bit of something that the game just ribs you about every now and then, like they would in an actual party situation. They wouldn't let them forget it every now and then. So it's just a little bit of freely ribbing sometimes from Tifa or something. That would be fun. Put the mechanism in there that allows you to skip it, but remind the player that they did so. And maybe it's something that they can then try and do better on the next playthrough or something, instead of just being blocked. Yuffie just going, allow me to show you how it's done. Yes, exactly. Allow one of the other party members to come in and go, oh, let me do it. And then not let you forget about it. Like, just let it come up in just party conversation every now and then. Yeah. We should be game designers. Anyway, we are at 3 out of 10 now, which is good. I'm actually going to take a short break. I need more coffee. We have the ability to go into photo mode, at least. And it's a little bit more interesting than staring at the main menu. Not that Zurich at this angle is particularly pretty, but it's something, right? We can also change the weather a little bit. Let's not have fog. Let's have some clear skies. And a lovely sunrise. There we go. I can't get rid of the big thing in the middle, unfortunately, but that's a little bit of a nicer view, isn't it? You should go to bed, it's almost 1 AM. That would probably be advisable. Yeah. I mean, I appreciate you stopping by, it's great to see you, but do look after yourself. I'll be back in a few minutes anyway.